Pokemon Legends ZA is full of cool Easter eggs and references, so in this video I'm gonna go over a bunch of cool ones that you may have missed. First up is a crazy one, and that is the fact that Lysandre's portrayal in Pokemon Legends ZA is actually based on Odin, the well-known god in Norse mythology. The Norse connection is key here, since the Kalos region as a whole is heavily inspired by Norse mythology, but when it comes to Lysandre in ZA, basically his entire character is directly inspired by Odin. This is because Odin is known to have portrayed himself as a wanderer at times, and also only has one eye, because he sacrificed the other one for wisdom. These traits all align perfectly with Lysandre in ZA, as he is also a wanderer, only has one eye, and he lost the other as a result of the events of X and Y, which caused him to gain wisdom and change his intentions as a character. A really deep cut that comes right at the beginning of the game can be seen as you depart the train for Lumiose City. On the train is a sticker that features a Baneri, and this is actually a reference to real-life stickers that are used in the actual Paris Metro, that also feature a bunny and warn against pinching your fingers in the door of the train. I personally think that the iconography in this game is a 10 out of 10. It's honestly just so good, and this is a great example why. And speaking of iconography, there's another cool little Easter egg that can be found in the iconography of the Pokémon Centers. If you go to the left of the counters in the Pokémon Center and take a close look at the rack of magazines, you will be able to see some magazines featuring Turfield's giant geoglyph in the Galar region, Mesa Goza in the Paldea region, and what looks to possibly be Mount Coronet in Sinnoh, which would also represent the 3 most recent Pokemon games prior to Legends ZA. What I think is a really fun reference happens with Lida of Team MZ. Between her appearance, her status as a dancer, and a mention that she makes at the beginning of the game, we know that she is Tierno's younger sister. But an additional reference to this that is easy to miss is the fact that she uses a Vanillite on her team, which later evolves into Vanillux, and this is in reference to Tierno as well, as he wears a shirt with a Vanillite on it in Pokemon X and Y. Pokemon games are very detail-oriented, as most things in the games have a specific reason for being the way they are, and this even comes down to smaller, mundane details that you could easily overlook. For example, the number of new Mega Evolutions introduced in the base game of Legends ZA is 26, which you might not think anything of, but this is most likely a direct reference to the alphabet, as there are 26 letters in the Latin alphabet, and this game, in addition to X and Y as well, obviously revolve heavily around a theme of letters. When you get the chance to battle Canari for the first time, or Canari, I'm not really sure the way it's supposed to be pronounced, she is rank F in the ZA Royale. Again, you might not think anything of this, but there is meaning in this detail as well, because given Canari's status as a gamer and a streamer, this could very possibly be a reference to the press F to pay respects meme that is particularly prominent amongst gaming streamers and their chats. And speaking of the new characters in this game, Ivor is another one that you battled during a promotion match, and at the headquarters of his group, the Fist of Justice, a nice little reference can be found to Silphco, as their logo can be seen on the boxes of Pokeballs that are lying on the ground. While this next one isn't outright stated verbatim, it is all but confirmed through various implications made throughout the game that Quasartico is from the Hoenn region. Various NPCs mention the fact that Quasartico is a foreign firm, and Jet even mentions herself that they are not originally from Lumiose. Additionally, between the name Quasartico and the appearance of Jet's secretary, Vinny, it seems very apparent that they also have some kind of connection to Rayquaza. And as a cherry on top, outside of the Quasartico building, you can see a bunch of palm trees, which aren't exactly common in a place like Lumiose, but are very indicative of a more tropical climate like Hoenn. So it seems to be the case that Hoenn is where they are originally from, and they were called into Lumiose to help redevelop the city. Up next is a pretty simple yet fun one, and that is that several NPCs throughout the game can be seen wearing a shirt with a surfing Pikachu on it. And this particular art is actually art that comes from the Surfing Pikachu TCG card. At the Lumiose Museum, amongst all the cool lore tidbits, is a side quest that takes place where you have to locate a bunch of Spewpa that are lost throughout the museum. At the end of the side quest, you end up being gifted one of the Spewpa, and then the side quest ends. But what the game does not tell you anything about is the fact that this Spewpa is special, because it evolves into Marine Pattern Vivillon, which you cannot get any other way in this game. Again, the game makes no allusion to the fact that this Spewpa is special whatsoever, which makes it a cool surprise, but also really easy to miss. During the final sequence of the game, as you are trying to make your way to Prism Tower to stop Ange Floette, the Rust Syndicate do you a solid and build a human ladder to help you scale a building. At this point, once you climb the ladder, you go on your way and start roof hopping towards Prism Tower. But there's actually a hidden bit of dialogue that you can see if you decide to just mess around and hop off the roof after climbing up the ladder. Corbeau will get mad at you for falling off the roof and proceed to have you climb back up, where you can then fall off the roof another 2 times and get this interaction before the game eventually puts an invisible wall at the edge of the roof and just forces you to continue. One thing that isn't really an Easter egg or a reference, but is nevertheless an interesting detail, is that Hideo Kojima, the very well-known creator of Metal Gear Solid, actually worked on Pokemon Legends ZA. His name can be seen in the credits as a member of the Pokemon 3D visual team. Coming back around to Lysandre, during the post-game, you get the chance to battle him, and his team is awesome because it's actually very symbolic of his character. Pyroar and Gyarados are present as signature members of his original X and Y team. However, the rest of his team members represent his redemption arc in ZA. Florges is likely here to represent Lysandre being a relative of AZ, and also effectively taking over AZ's original role in this game. Garbodor likely represents his status as a vagabond, and Sableye and Noivern likely refer to the loss of his eye, with Sableye obviously being themed around its eyes, and Noivern being a bat that uses echolocation because it can't see. So those were some cool Easter egg type things that I have seen in this game, but if you know of any more, be sure to leave it in the comments and leave a like on the video if you enjoyed. I also made another ZA Easter egg video that you can check out if you want to see even more, and I will also be back soon with even more content too, so be sure to subscribe. Also, thanks so much for watching as always, and until the next one, I will smell you guys later.